Imagine staring down an ancient cosmic sentinel that manages to exude absolute, spine-chilling terror while simultaneously projecting an aura of almost hypnotic serenity. That is the exact visual paradox achieved by Marilith in Final Fantasy IX, a design that completely upends what we usually expect from this legendary, fire-wielding fiend. Instead of the chaotic, multi-armed whirlwind of flashing scimitars that traditionally defines her encounters, this specific incarnation scales things back to a deceptive, minimalist elegance, which makes her look less like a frenzied engine of destruction and more like a calculating, aristocratic ruler who could ruin your life with a single, icy glare. Look closely at the striking visual dichotomy of her physical presentation, where her cyan skin possesses a chilling, almost subterranean hue that serves as a stark, contrasting canvas for that voluminous, cascading manner of crimson hair, a vibrant feature that frames her face like a crown of frozen magma. Her humanoid torso is tightly enveloped in an intricately woven purple lattice carapace, a scaled outfit secured by heavy, ornate golden bands around her arms and waist that screams high fashion, assuming your wardrobe choices are entirely dictated by deep-sea architecture and ancient planetary curses. Behind her head, her hair anatomy transitions seamlessly into a massive, muscular, deep crimson serpentine tail, but instead of tapering off like a generic viper, her lower half terminates in an elaborate, fan-like caudal fin that mimics the flowing, delicate drapery of a Siamese fighting fish, creating an incredibly unique fusion of reptilian power and aquatic grace. This fascinating aesthetic completely dictates the implied personality of Marilith, revealing that she isn't a mindless, screaming inferno, but rather a manifestation of magmatic pressure, the quiet, terrifying stillness that happens right before a volcano completely obliterates the landscape. Her crossed arms and tilted head project a sense of immense, mocking superiority, a cold intelligence that suggests she views mortal heroes as mere temporary annoyances in her eternal vigil. Marilith holds a terrifyingly important position in the cosmic hierarchy of Final Fantasy IX, serving as the ancient fire guardian who anchors the elemental equilibrium of Gaia. Stationed at the subterranean heart of the Fire Shrine, her existence is intrinsically tied to the planetary seals that regulate the flow of the Lifar tree, meaning she functions as a literal biological firewall designed to prevent the unauthorized merging of two dying worlds. Her relation to the overarching narrative carries immense existential weight, because when Zidane and his companions simultaneously assault the elemental sanctuaries, they aren't just hunting monsters, they are actively dismantling the ancient security system of their entire planet, a desperate gambit that forces Marilith to manifest as the ultimate line of terrestrial defense. Even after her physical defeat, her presence lingers deeply within the collective unconscious of the world, allowing the antagonist Kuja to manifest her rebuilt self as a version closer to the regular Marilith archetype, still a unique rendition of it which is still unprecedented, and a more psychological, crystallized replica of her within the reality-warping corridors of Memoria, the final dungeon of the game, proving that her identity is permanently etched into the planet's crystal, the crystal being the source of all life. Peeling back the layers of her real-world inspiration reveals a brilliant synthesis of classical mythology and evolutionary biology, because while her naming taxonomy traces back to standard tabletop role-playing demons, which heavily borrowed from the multi-armed Hindu goddess Kali, this specific two-armed configuration leans far more heavily into European folklore of the succubus, reinvented as a modern-day stripper. It is a brilliant subversion of player expectations, utilizing the primal human fear of serpentine tricksters to make her feel intimately dangerous. Her historical journey across the franchise is an absolute logistical nightmare of localization blunders, starting all the way back in the original 80-bit Nintendo era where her name was scrambled into Carrie due to text limitations, before being retranslated as Malairis when Final Fantasy IX dropped on the PlayStation. A linguistic divergence that kept lore scholars arguing in forums for a generation before modern remasters finally unified her title under the official banner of Marilith. What if this sleek, two-armed state is actually her true, uncorrupted base form, a highly specialized biological sleeper agent created by the ancient Terrans to blend smoothly into the early myths of Gaia? It is entirely plausible that the monstrous, six-armed, sword-wielding titan we face in the actual boss fight isn't her real body at all, but rather a violent psychic distortion, an artificial construct of pure kinetic malice that Kuja saw within the real Marilith, meaning that this quiet, coiled, bipedal silhouette is the closest we ever get to seeing the true, unaltered mind of the fire fiend before the chaos of war consumes her entirely.